Hey everybody, welcome into Northern Life here with Briggs. I am Ryan. Thank you for joining us as we make it through this week. And Briggs, I was at my apartment last night and I was doing some stretching on the ground and I took my glasses off. And my glasses are clear, of course. I've lost them before due to the clearness of them.
This sounds familiar.
It does. It sounds familiar. And so I was walking around my apartment with my glasses off, and I stepped on them, and I heard this like kind of crunch. You could like feel it in my. I could feel it in my foot,
no.
and they were bent pretty bad. But I think we're gonna be. I think we're gonna be okay.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
The whole time we were talking before the show, they don't look crooked at all.
Thank you. Yeah, I bent them back into place. I mean, I think they're doing okay. I was also asking folks, what is the name of? What do you call like this part of the glass? What was that, Seth? A
the
temple?
Bridge?
You call that the temple? This is the
that's
bridge.
The bridge?
This is some glasses science for us today. A bridge and then the temple, according to Seth Anderson behind the camera. So they're okay. We got them on. We're ready to rock.
Oh my gosh. Didn't you say one time you put your clear glasses down and then you couldn't find them because you probably can't really see well without your glasses and they're clear?
I did the whole show that one time without them, and then finally they're by the makeup downstairs.
Sheesh.
I need a tracking beacon on them or something.
Oh, glad you found them.
Yes, yes, me too.
Hey, coming up today, we're going to get to your viewer messages and comments, and we're going to introduce you to an albino deer that's being remembered in Spooner, Wisconsin. Very interesting.
And it's got quite the name, too. And after that, does it work? A rechargeable electric spin scrubber. Rachel shows us what the results look like for this week's Does It Work product. And even though this week has been quite a shock to the system, it's been creating some stunning images for the Great Lakes. And for the folks out on Lake Superior, we've definitely seen some steam when it comes to over the water. And it's the same sight for the folks out in Chicago on Lake Michigan. I mean, check out some of the stunning drone video that was shot from our affiliate there. And according to the forecast out in Chicago, it looks like they're going to be seeing some sort of relief as we get on later in this week.
Wow. I mean, I love the lake steam on my way into work in the morning. There is nothing prettier, even though lake steam means it is so cold out there. Duluth is beautiful, but wow, Chicago really adds a whole another element to the lake steam. I actually didn't realize, I saw that lighthouse in there. That's so cool that they have that old piece of history right there with all of the new buildings in the background. Very neat. I've never noticed that on a trip to Chicago. Clearly I need to open my eyes a little bit.
Shout out to our viewer Frank too in Chicago. Hopefully you're enjoying that lake steam as well.
Yeah, so pretty. With the combination of the snow and the cold temps we've been seeing, it's prompting some folks to question which one of those they'd rather have. In southeast Wisconsin, they recently experienced 24 hours of snowfall followed by a deep freeze. After nonstop shoveling, residents in Milwaukee were fatigued, of course. They were also asked, would you rather have the nonstop snow or the freezing cold? Here's what they had to say.
Would you rather have a big dig out like this or really cold temperatures?
I would probably go with the snow.
It's too much all at once. You get 4 or 5 days in a row and get tired of it. It's fun for about 30 seconds and then you're done.
I just thought about it. I think I'm going to be in the camp of nonstop cold.
Really?
For a long stretch, yeah, because if it's continuously snowing, like you got to put in a lot of work to keep up with the snow, like shoveling or snow blowing. And if it's snowing, it's probably going to mean you haven't seen the sun in a while.
That's true too. But I mean,
sad.
like the drive to work, what was it, Tuesday morning, like beautiful. Obviously, we have a photo on our Facebook too from our executive producer, Ben.
Yeah.
It's stunning. But I mean, I'm sitting in my car when it's super cold and I'm like, my muscles are tightening so much that I can't breathe. I would probably rather take all this snow because that way it's a little more peaceful to my mind than all the freezing of my brain and my body.
Yeah, I mean, you can always hire someone to help with snow removal, or if you live in an apartment, maybe you're not responsible for snow removal. So I see why you're leaning that way.
That's true too. I do live in an apartment, but somebody else does it. Hey, if you need somebody to help you, I remember months ago too, we were talking to Tony Nargi about how he used to run a lucrative snow shoveling business. So when in trouble, call up meteorologist Tony Nargi.
Oh my gosh, I need to get his number. I don't know if I have it, but Tony, please come over to my house next time.
You can come over to my house. Harry and CJ will pay you. While the weather can be a drain sometimes, folks in other states are making the most of it this week. Aerial video was taken in Dallas, Texas, in the South, where kids got together here, grabbing their sleds and hitting the hills. And for the folks out in Washington, D.C., residents took full advantage of the snow there, having a massive snowball fight out on the National Mall.
Oh my gosh.
That event too, Briggs, it was planned by the Washington, D.C. Snowball Fight Association.
Association?
They're big time.
Oh my gosh, how can I be a member of that association? Maybe create our own here.
Do we have a Duluth or Superior Snowball Fight Association?
Oh, too funny.
I would love to be on the board.
I know. I don't know if you're watching the Buffalo Bills football game the other night, but every time there was a touchdown or some significant thing for the Bills, which happened pretty often during that game, they were all the fans throwing snow because they had just been dumped on.
Yeah.
And they had to shovel too. That stadium out. Volunteers were getting like $20 an hour to do that. I also heard that they said if you have a ticket to that game Monday, you could just go into the stadium and you didn't have to worry about where your seat actually was. You could sit anywhere you wanted to. There was
an unbelievable amount of snow. I mean, I think if I heard correctly from the TV, about 40 inches of snow. My father and I went to Buffalo for last year's game with the Vikings at the Buffalo Bills, that iconic game. It was so much fun. The people of Buffalo are fantastic people, even though they gave me a tough time for wearing Vikings gears. But the city of, I believe, friendly neighbors is what they're called.
Okay.
So the folks out there are wonderful, wonderful folks.
Awesome. Very friendly. Well, going from snowball fights to snow sculptures, a Michigan man has devoted his time to create a masterpiece. Check this out. Instead of staying warm inside, Jeffrey Kozlowski made an orca whale sculpture out of snow. That is amazing. He even made it look like the whale was in water, bringing a new flair to the traditional snowman.
I mean, how about that? The dude's swimming in water. What a spray paint job, too. Good job on him.
Artistic talent, for sure. Wow.
Well, hey, coming up after the break, we got viewer comments to get to, plus we're meeting a wonderful Minnesota woman who's being supported by her students.
Welcome back. As always, thank you for following us on Facebook and Instagram and joining in on our conversations. We love that, including those of you who leave us comments on our YouTube channel, too. Let's get to some of those thoughts from the past week that you shared with us. Our first one comes to us from Sherry, who told us her plans for the snow and cold this week were to stay inside and watch Northern Lights.
Darn right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jillian left us this note next saying, love watching you all every day. Love the laughs, and you always make my husband and I chuckle. Keep up the great job you're doing. Thank you, Jillian. That's kind. And then we have Jan, who let us know, glad I found you all. Moving up to the range, you all are the cherry on top of that move. That's cool. Welcome to the Northland. Love to see new people coming in and calling it home. It's a beautiful spot, especially the range. Lots of fun up there.
I think I've seen a couple people, online who have said they're moving up to the Iron Range area. So, it might be the hotbed for recent moves.
Yeah, a decent amount of growth there lately, it seems.
Hanging out with Kristen Vaki and folks. And we love our human viewers, and we have to thank our non-human viewers, too. Peter sent us this photo saying his good dog, Gus Gus, turned 5 recently, and he also watches the show. So, woof woof to you, Gus Gus.
Oh, woof woof. Gus Gus, maybe a little tribute to the Cinderella movie. Isn't there a little mouse in Cinderella named Gus Gus?
I think there is. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Same.
It's been a long time.
Precious.
Well, this next one goes out to our entire team, including Seth behind the camera and Keith, who's currently working upstairs. Mike sent us this message on Facebook. I'm still waiting for you and the behind the camera crew to job swap.
Oh, I don't know if anybody would want that. I mean, not because you don't want to see Keith and Seth up here. That would be fantastic. But I don't know if there would be a show if we were entrusted to run the behind the scenes equipment.
Essentially.
It's technical down there. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like a photo of our director's booth, but the amount of buttons that are back there.
There's a lot of buttons. There's a lot of buttons to press. Seth's kind of showed me one time. We give our directors a lot of flack sometimes because it's like all you have to do is hit the space bar and it takes you to the next video. It takes you to the next camera shot. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into that, like bringing up the words in our prompter and turning on these lights and everything.
A lot of computer coding.
Yeah.
Which. Right over my head. No idea how that works.
We probably could not be working in IT, but we're very thankful for Seth and Keith. And Seth, if you ever want to hit the desk here, just let us know and we'll bring you up.
I think they'd be super fun and a whole new perspective on the show.
Whole new perspective.
Coming up this weekend, our viewer Shannon wanted to let us know that Wascott, Wisconsin. I hope I'm saying that right. Wascott. It's anyway in between. It's by Gordon and Minong, kind of in between there. They're hosting their first ever classic snowmobile show and ride event. That's cool. You're invited to bring your sleds and come together for a fun time, including a chance for awards and the chance to donate canned food to the food shelf in Wascott. The first annual event starts at 10 a.m. this Saturday at the Circle Pines Bar and Restaurant. So a big thanks to Shannon for sending that info our way. And luckily, they have a decent amount of snow now to work with for some of these snowmobile events, because I think a lot of them were kind of getting pushed or postponed. So, and it sounds like it's going to even warm up a little bit too by Saturday.
Not going to be riding on pavement, which is good for those. But yeah, Shannon messaged me and said, we got to get you guys out there this Saturday to like ride in like on the vintage snowmobiles. Cool. I was like, if we can't make it, we can at least promote it here. Yeah. So hopefully the folks out there will have a lot of fun.
I've only been on a snowmobile a handful of times in my life.
I've never been on a snowmobile.
Really?
I've never been on a snowmobile. I have been on a four-wheeler before, but not a snowmobile. So might be a bucket list item this winter.
You can really cruise on those things.
I know, you can get going. And same with the four-wheeler too.
Yeah.
Hey, just to the south there, Spooner, Wisconsin is remembering the life of 15-year-old albino deer they called the King. The buck sadly passed away a few weeks ago from natural causes and was a friendly neighbor to the Danielson family. Now, since he was found on the Danielson's property, they plan to take the buck to a taxidermist, and the plan is to put the buck's full body mount on display at a Spooner restaurant or business, so both locals and tourists can see him.
Wow. I've heard of this buck before.
You have the King?
Yeah, I had heard. I did not know he was named the King, but the lore of the albino buck in the Spooner area. I wonder how old that buck was.
15, I believe.
Oh, 15,
they think he was 15.
Okay.
But I think it's always cool too. Like when you see albino squirrels too out in nature, you go, oh, dude, that squirrel's cool. So
that is super neat. I can't believe it lived that long.
I know, 15 is a long time too. So, but I'm glad like the I don't know what you call it, the story of Buck will continue to live on at a Spooner restaurant. Yeah, legacy. Thank you, Seth. The legacy of the King will continue to live on in Spooner,
I think there's going to be restaurants clamoring to have that Buck on their property, because that is a pretty neat thing.
Certainly will.
Well, south of the Twin Cities in Rosemont, Minnesota, a bus driver facing stomach cancer is getting a lift from her former riders. Heidi Karsten had been a driver for 10 years until her recent diagnosis. Now, 6th grader Noah Weber and his classmates have delivered cards and gifts, including $1,000 as Heidi continues her chemotherapy.
How about that?
That is amazing.
Shout out to the young man. Shout out to the whole group of kids there. I mean, school bus drivers deserve a lot more credit for dealing with us kids. You know, us growing up, we're a loud bunch. And the fact that they're coming together to help her is pretty amazing.
Yeah, so impressive to see a young group of kids come together.
Yeah, we can learn a lot. We can learn a lot from the youth that is out there. Well, hey, still ahead here on Northern Life. Is an electric scrubber worth the price? Well, guess what? Since it's Wednesday, Rachel Hackbarth will show us after the break. Welcome back. Before we get to today's Does It Work product, to today's Does It Work product, a lot of words to say. We love getting feedback and thoughts from you about our items that we show on our program. And Sherry, who we heard from earlier, let us know that she uses foil pans all the time, as we talked about last week's product, for things like grilling, lasagna, and salads. And she may have to get one of those fancy pans to try them out.
Just in case she's flipping it over.
Yeah.
We were wondering what
in case you're going on your stunt plane. But the funniest thing, too, about doing the show sometimes is we talk about things, and obviously we love hearing from you, because then it kind of sparks more conversation about it. Yeah. And so I was walking through Cub Foods the other day, and I just turned, and they have those displays in the middle of the aisles sometimes.
Yeah.
And I turned, and I'm not even kidding you, it was probably like 15 different foil pans like in the middle of the aisle. It was like the day or two after we talked about that product.
You manifested some foil pans into your life.
And I just laughed. I was like, that is so funny that I happen to run into all these foil pans. So
Ryan Google's foil pan recipes. Start somewhere.
What can I make? Especially my crock pot too. What can I make?
True. Yeah. Well, as for this week's Does It Work product, the Scrubtastic is promising to be a quick and easy option for cleaning your kitchen or even your bathroom too. Rachel Hackbarth puts it to the test in today's Does It Work.
This is the $39.99 Scrubtastic Electric Spin Scrubber. It's cordless and rechargeable and promises to take some of the elbow grease out of cleaning areas like tubs and tiles. Ricardo Munoz runs a cleaning company. He's been looking into this product.
we're hoping to get one in the future, and I guess we'll see what this is like today.
We have 3 different brush heads, a charger, and this extendable one Ricardo needs to put together.
So how is assembly?
Really simple. I mean, you just click 3 pieces together and bam, it's done.
Our Scrubtastic can now reach close to 3.5 feet.
As far as like this sink we're about to clean, it might be a little much.
Off to the kitchen we go. We're using the round brush head and a little solution. Ricardo says he can't see a difference in the kitchen sink.
And we got those rust stains out, we got the hard water stains out.
But when it comes to the bathroom, Ricardo feels some areas get cleaner than others.
I think if it was something fresher like that soap scum that was on the wall, like took it off pretty smoothly and it had something on that in the bathtub, I think it would handle it very well.
Is the difference big enough to make Ricardo's job easier?
So do you think the Scrubtastic works?
I think, honestly, I think it could work. Would I use it in a commercial use? Maybe.
For Does It Work? I'm Rachel Ackbarth.
Fairly good review from Ricardo there.
How about a maybe on the commercial use of it? I mean, I would say it's nice that you can use it to extend it, so that way if you have a high-reaching shower or something like that, you can reach those places as opposed to like trying to get up there and scrub it out yourself.
It's hard when you're short. I'm short, and like reaching up there is not easy. And sometimes you really have to put like a lot of elbow grease into the scrubbing, so anything that does a little bit of that for me.
Especially the showers too. I mean, my family home down in Maple Grove, our biggest bathroom, the shower we mainly use, has tiles on the shower, by the shower, and so those are always terrible to clean. I mean, you have to get in the grout and whatnot with the washcloth. So having something like that would be super nice. But how many places in your home are hard to reach when it comes to cleaning due to your height?
A decent amount. Cabinets. But just reaching stuff in the cabinets, I have to get a little stool. I need to invest in one of those.
You don't have one?
No, I'm like climbing up on the counter. Dangerous. Shouldn't be doing that.
Hey, future birthday present coming your way to make sure there's safety in the household. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Early for my birthday present. Amazing. 6 months early. Coming up tomorrow, we'll look at what's coming up next. Welcome back. Coming up tomorrow with Hunter away still, we're going to be welcoming in a familiar face to Northern News Now viewers. We have Mitchell Zimmerman joining us as a guest co-host. That'll be super fun. He's a great time. We'll be catching up with him about working on the morning shift, what that's been like, as we also have him help us unbox a gift that was sent to us from Milwaukee. Of all places.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what
we're going to keep it a mystery. We're going to keep it a mystery a little bit, but it should be a blast to have Mitchell. And I think we're going to also have some other special guest co-hosts, too, helping us out for later this week as well. Well, hey, before we go, tourism in Duluth is important. And what would a marketing campaign look like for those not on Earth? Well, Lexington, Kentucky just created an extraterrestrials guide to their city. It includes images of the local scenery, the science behind bourbon, as well as the audio of blues music. And with the blessing of the FAA, the city even beamed the message to Earth-sized planets 40 light years away.
Okay, the resources.
I was going to say, I don't know how much money it costs to beam a message 40 light years away. Hopefully not a lot, but Lexington, Kentucky might have to answer some more questions.
Can you imagine that being your assignment at work? Can you create a message to beam up to 40 planets?
Be quite the day.
Have a great Wednesday.
Find some time to throw a line or just head outside to unwind. That's the life in the great North Woods. Hike or bike, whatever you like. Get out in the day, enjoy the night. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, this is Northern Life.